NATO's nuclear power comes mainly from three countries: the United States, the United Kingdom, and France. The United States has about 5,000 nuclear warheads, with around 1,600 deployed and ready to use. The U.S. operates the famous nuclear triad: land-based missiles in silos, the Minuteman III ICBM, submarines carrying Trident 2D5 missiles, each capable of launching multiple warheads, strategic bombers like the B-52, B-2 Spirit, and B-21 Raider. The United Kingdom maintains a smaller arsenal, around 225 warheads, almost all deployed on its Vanguard-class submarines, which patrol continuously to guarantee second strike capability. France has around 300 nuclear warheads split between submarine-launched missiles and air-launched weapons carried by Rafale and Mirage fighter jets. Together, these forces mean NATO can deliver thousands of nuclear weapons to targets across Russia within minutes. Russia's nuclear arsenal. Russia, however, is no less prepared. In fact, Russia holds the largest nuclear arsenal in the world, over 5,500 warheads, with about 1,600 deployed and ready. Russia's forces include ICBMs like the RS-24 Yars and the massive RS-28 Sarmat, nicknamed Satan II, capable of carrying 10 or more warheads each. Submarines such as the Borei-class, armed with Bulava missiles. Strategic bombers, including the Tu-95 and Tu-160, carrying cruise missiles and bombs. Russia also has a special system known as perimeter, or dead hand. This Cold War-era mechanism ensures that if Russia's leadership is destroyed, the system can automatically order a nuclear retaliation. In other words, even if NATO's first strike killed Moscow's commanders, Russia would still strike back. The first minutes. NATO launches. Now imagine the scenario. NATO launches a first strike. Missiles rise from silos in the United States. Submarines hidden in the Atlantic and Arctic fire. Trident missiles and bombers head toward launch points. Within seconds, Russian satellites detect the heat plumes. Ground-based radars confirm launches. Moscow has less than 15 minutes to decide whether this is a real attack or a false alarm. In that short window, Russia must choose: wait until impact to confirm, risking annihilation, or launch on warning, firing its own missiles before NATO's arrive. Most experts agree that in such a situation, Russia would not wait. The risk of losing its arsenal in silos is too great. Russia's retaliation. Within 5 to 10 minutes of detecting NATO's strike, Russia begins its retaliation. Submarines beneath the Arctic ice fire Bulava missiles. Road-mobile ICBMs like the Yars are launched from forests and fields. Strategic bombers scramble to release cruise missiles. Even if NATO destroyed part of Russia's arsenal, enough would survive to strike back. By the time NATO warheads begin detonating over Moscow, St. Petersburg, and military sites across Russia, Russian warheads are already on their way toward Europe and North America. The first 30 minutes, global firestorm, the results are immediate and catastrophic. In Russia, Moscow is hit by multiple warheads. A single 500-kiloton blast can kill over 1 million people instantly. The Kremlin, military command, and government facilities are vaporized. St. Petersburg suffers similar devastation. Military bases, missile silos, and radar stations are struck across Siberia and the Urals. In NATO countries, Washington, D.C., New York, London, Paris, Berlin, and Warsaw become prime targets. NATO air bases, naval facilities, and missile defense systems are destroyed in minutes. Civilian casualties in the tens of millions occur almost instantly. By the end of the first half hour, hundreds of cities are burning, and dozens of millions are dead. The first 24 hours, the devastation doesn't end with the blasts. Survivors face radiation, fallout clouds spread downwind, contaminating vast areas. Cities hit directly are uninhabitable for decades. Infrastructure collapse. Power grids, communication systems, and hospitals are gone. Emergency services are overwhelmed. Military escalation. Surviving commanders may order tactical nuclear strikes against remaining enemy forces, pushing the death toll even higher. This is the essence of mutually assured destruction. Once nuclear weapons are used, both sides are guaranteed catastrophic losses. The first month, global fallout. In the weeks that follow, humanity faces new horrors. Fallout spreads worldwide. Even countries far from the blasts, like India, Brazil, or South Africa, experience radiation contamination through winds and rainfall. Nuclear winter begins. Fires from hundreds of burning cities send smoke and ash high into the stratosphere, blocking sunlight. Global temperatures drop by several degrees, shortening growing seasons and collapsing agriculture. Scientists predict that even a limited nuclear war involving a few hundred warheads could cause famine for billions. A NATO-Russia exchange would involve thousands. The collapse of civilization. With agriculture failing, supply chains destroyed, and governments crippled, the global economy collapses. Food shortages lead to mass starvation. Disease spreads in refugee camps as sanitation systems break down. Law and order vanish as nations scramble to survive. Even neutral countries suffer. For example, studies show that Asia and Africa could lose over 1 billion lives from famine alone, even if no nuclear weapon landed on their soil. Lessons from history. Why do we know this? Because history has given us glimpses. In 1945, 2 bombs destroyed Hiroshima and Nagasaki, killing over 200,000 people. Modern warheads are 20 to 50 times more powerful. During the Cold War, false alarms nearly triggered nuclear war multiple times. In 1983, Soviet officer Stanislav Petrov chose not to retaliate when his system reported a false U.S. launch. His decision may have saved the world. These lessons show us just how close humanity has come before and how devastating a real nuclear exchange would be. Military planners have long acknowledged the truth. A nuclear war cannot be won and must never be fought. Even if NATO destroyed most of Russia's arsenal in a first strike, the retaliation would still be catastrophic. And the same is true in reverse. That is why deterrence, keeping nuclear weapons as a threat but never using them, remains the cornerstone of strategy. The terrifying balance of mutually assured destruction is what has prevented nuclear war since 1945. So what happens if NATO launches nuclear weapons on Russia? Millions die in minutes. Civilization collapses in weeks. Billions face famine and nuclear winter. The truth is simple. No side wins. Humanity itself loses. This is why experts, leaders, and ordinary citizens alike must remember the use of nuclear weapons is the end of modern civilization, and the only way forward is to ensure they are never used.